guys, today I wanted to talk about superfoods, specifically the best superfoods for weight loss, and actually kind of my favorite superfoods in general, but I would have stuck a few different things on this list if it was best superfoods for muscle building, so I guess it is specifically best superfoods for weight loss, but in general, they're very good superfoods. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you might be like, Marissa, hold up. Why are you promoting superfoods for weight loss? That is very unlike you. Well, don't worry. The video will explain itself. And here's the thing, the term superfood does not define any food group. It was developed purely as a marketing strategy. A company can label literally anything they want as a superfood. Doritos could slap superfood on the package if they wanted to. In general, the term superfood is used to describe foods that are particularly nutrient dense, have special properties, or have like supreme health benefits. But again, there is no existing definition or criteria for this. And frankly, no one food is a cure-all. No one superfood is going to drastically change your life. And the marketing around superfoods has kind of skewed our collective ability to be able to see what's actually important in our nutrition. So what I decided to do is make a list of Marissa-approved superfoods specifically for fat loss, but leave a comment down below if you want me to make a list of superfoods specifically for muscle building or any other goal that you might have. The great news is that this list has no gimmicks, no marketing, no fake news, no expensive packaged foods. I'm not gonna try to sell you anything with this video. Well, okay, I take that back. I'm not gonna try to sell you any superfoods with this video, but I did want to give you a super quick reminder, like gentle reminder, that I do have merch available. I came out with merch a while ago. I like never talk about it because I don't want to be like that merch girl that's like always pushing merch, but I did just want to, you know, bring it back to your attention that it does exist because I got a lot of requests for it, which is why I finally decided to do it. We have t-shirts, we have tank tops, we have other tank tops, we have long sleeve t-shirts, we got the Fit and Nerdy design, the Brains and Gains design. Everything is so comfortable. I handpicked everything that I wanted to be in it, so yeah, just a reminder, it's there. I'll link it down in the description if you want to check it out. If not, that's fine. But going back to superfoods and fat loss, there are 3 things in your diet that you want to optimize when you are trying to actively lose fat. And this is nutrient density, protein intake, and fat intake. High volume nutrient dense foods are going to take up just a lot of physical space in your stomach and thus reduce the secretion of ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone that gets secreted when your stomach is physically empty and drives you to want to eat more. So reducing ghrelin reduces the feelings of hunger. Nutrient dense foods are also obviously packed with micronutrients. When you cut calories, you're not just cutting calories, you're cutting available nutrition and thus micronutrients. And so the more calories you cut, the fewer micronutrients you can get into your diet. And the lower your intake of micronutrients is, the more your body's going to drive you to get more foods to get in those key micronutrients that you need. So if you can keep your micronutrients high even with lower calories, you're gonna have a much easier time not having a ton of cravings and not feeling like your body is constantly driving you to eat. Whereas if you were lowering calories and on top of that we're eating foods that were not very nutrient dense, your body's gonna be like, okay, something's wrong. We need to get in the micronutrients that we need to survive. Therefore, we need to eat everything in existence. And protein is honestly kind of the star of the show when it comes to weight loss. Having a high enough protein intake will increase satiety as well as improve body composition when in a calorie deficit. Protein is without a doubt the most satiating macronutrient. It will keep you fullest the longest. There was a 2011 study done where they took groups with restricted calorie intake and the group with higher protein reported greater satiety throughout the day and a lower desire to snack at night. A 2008 study showed that in individuals trying to lose weight, those with a higher protein intake reported greater weight loss as well as easier weight maintenance once they had reached their goal. And then adequate protein intake is also key in making sure you maintain your muscle while losing fat so that you actually end up with a lower body fat percentage rather than just a lower weight. If you don't have adequate protein intake, you will lose muscle along with fat and may actually end up with a higher body fat percentage at your lower weight. So you may weigh less on the scale, but you will look like you may have gained a little bit of fat. And then when it comes to fat, a higher fat intake is going to help reduce those crazy spikes in appetite that you get when you're trying to lose fat, as well as cravings that you get. Now, obviously that has to be paired with a lower calorie diet, because if you just increase fat from your current calorie intake, you'll be in a surplus. So that doesn't work, but a higher fat to calorie ratio, let's put it that way. Now let me just be very clear, I am not demonizing carbs. It's just that for weight loss, most people have better success with just a higher fat, lower-ish carb diet, unless of course you're training really intensely, like 5 to 6 days a week. More carbs are going to be very, very helpful. Carbs, especially simple carbs, spike your blood sugar, and then it leads to a huge blood sugar crash, which is going to trigger your body to crave all of the food basically because it wants to keep your blood sugar levels up, and when it crashes your body's like, what the heck is going on? This can't happen. We need more carbs to keep it up. Have you ever been like chilling, you're like, I want a cookie. A cookie sounds good, and so you eat the cookie, and then a little while later you want like 10 more cookies? This is part of the reason why. Fats, however, do not have this same spike in blood sugar and resulting crash. They are much more stable when it comes to blood sugar, so it's not going to trigger your appetite and cravings as much. So with that being said, let's get into Marissa's top 5 superfoods to support healthy fat loss. Number 1 is vegetables, particularly leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables. Leafy greens include things like kale, spinach, collards, Swiss chards, and a few others. And this is what's really gonna help you maximize the volume of your meals to help suppress ghrelin, as we talked about. They're very low in calories and also packed with fiber, which is going to add a lot of the bulk to your meals, and they're also highly nutrient dense. Again, we talked about nutrient density and how important it is. Leafy greens are loaded with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and a whole lot of good things for your body. And then cruciferous vegetables include things like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. I have been loving Brussels sprouts lately. They're so good. Especially with a little like olive oil. Oof. Kind of hungry. I should eat food. Probably Brussels sprouts. Like leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables are incredibly high in fiber, so again, they're gonna add that bulk to keep you full, but they also are a little bit higher in protein. Obviously, they're not like a protein source, but compared to other vegetables, they have a decent amount of protein. They're also, again, very, very nutrient dense, anti-inflammatory, so this combination of protein, fiber, and nutrient density makes them so good to add into your diet if you're actively trying to lose fat. Or honestly, this is again a superfood that would just make it onto Marissa's general superfood recommendation list that everyone should consume no matter what their goals are. Superfood number 2 is meat. Preferably really well sourced meat if you can get it from the farmer's market, grass-fed, pasture-raised, hormone antibiotic-free, humanely raised. Regenerative farming practices would be ideal, but like if you can't afford that, that is fine. As we discussed, protein is incredibly satiating. If you are actively trying to lose weight, I recommend getting in between about 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass, and you can estimate your lean body mass as basically your goal weight. That's a really quick, easy way to do it. For losing weight specifically, lean meats are going to potentially be a little bit more helpful because they pack all the punch of the protein, but they tend to be a lot less calorie dense because they have a lot less fat in them. However, it's worth noting that it tends to be that the fattier cuts of meat, like red meat, is a lot more nutrient dense. Like you can live off of steak, you cannot live off of chicken. So while chicken is going to be a lot lower calorie, the steak is going to give you a lot more of the micronutrients, so it might be best to get a balance of both in your diet. Meat, especially red meat as opposed to like protein powder, is incredibly nutrient dense. You can literally get almost every single vitamin and mineral you need just from eating like a ribeye steak. For most people, meat is also going to have a much higher bioavailability of those micronutrients than plant sources. So that means if you eat the steak, you're going to get a lot more of those vitamins and minerals than if you were to eat the like equivalent in plant form. Obviously not saying you like shouldn't eat plants, I just want to highlight the nutritional value of steak. And then since I mentioned protein powder, I definitely recommend meat as a source of protein over protein powder. Protein powder isn't gonna come with all of those extra vitamins and minerals. It's literally just like pure protein. Protein powder is also gonna be a lot less satiating because you're drinking it in liquid form. It's already like half digested for you. So what I recommend for protein powders is you can use them supplementally on days where you're actually struggling to get enough protein from whole food sources. So like if you're traveling or if something comes up in your schedule and you're just really busy and you're like, okay, I've barely eaten any meat today or any other protein sources, maybe I should get some extra protein, then that's a good time to use a protein powder. But if you're having like 2 protein shakes a day, you need to fix something. Next up for superfood number 3, we have eggs. Eggs are literally nature's multivitamin. Like meat, eggs contain almost all of the micronutrients that your body needs to survive. And most of these vitamins and minerals are actually stored in the yolk. So a lot of people, when they try to lose weight, will cut out the yolk and just have the egg whites or get like a carton of egg whites and just use that. But I really recommend leaving the yolk in there because you're gonna get a lot more micronutrients, which again is going to help your body get what it needs to do to like function and live, so you're not craving a ton of extra foods because you're cutting out all your micronutrients. And it's also going to get you a really great source of fat, which is just going to give you energy to keep you full and satiated throughout the day. And adding the yolk doesn't add that many more calories. Like, eggs are already pretty low calorie food, especially given the nutrient density and satiety that they provide. Basically, if you're trying to maximize nutrient density and satiety, whole eggs are your friend. They are literally my favorite food to eat when I am actively trying to lose weight. They make me feel really good. They're a great post-workout meal. What I love to do is train first thing in the morning, come home and make a giant omelet full of a ton of veggies and eggs, and best thing ever. Keeps me so full for hours, keeps my mind completely off of food because my body has everything that I could ever want. It's just, eggs are great. And this is starting to become more common knowledge now, but just for those of you who don't, keep up to date on nutrition science, because it's not your cup of tea and that's totally fine, the cholesterol in eggs is not really a cause for concern. A lot of people were concerned about that a few years ago, but a lot of studies have shown that dietary cholesterol does not negatively impact blood levels of cholesterol. And this is because the body is very good at regulating its own levels of cholesterol. So if you eat more, it reduces its own production of it so that it stays stable. Next up, for superfood number 4, we have my favorite delicious source of fat that is making millennials unable to buy homes: avocados. Maybe that's why I'm struggling to find a place to move to, because I eat too much avocado toast. Avocados are a superfood not only because of their amazing, delicious fat content, but also because they are chock full of so many different vitamins and minerals. For example, vitamin K, folate, vitamin C, potassium, vitamin E, niacin, riboflavin, copper, magnesium, manganese, antioxidants, and more. But not only are they incredibly nutrient dense, avocados are a great combo of being low carb, high fat, and high fiber. So they will keep you very satiated and give you sustained energy rather than causing a spike and crash in blood sugar. Now, as a high fat food, avocados are not low in calories. So you might think, but Marissa, if I'm trying to cut calories, why am I gonna waste it on avocado? Well, there are studies to show the amazing power of avocado when it comes to fat loss. For example, there is a 2013 randomized crossover study that looked at how adding some avocado to a meal could impact the appetite of obese or overweight individuals. People who ate half an avocado with their lunch experienced a decrease in appetite for up to 5 hours after that meal, and they also reported feeling 23% more satiated when they added avocado versus when they didn't. So yes, fat is your friend, avocados are your friend, and ideally you have a friend or neighbor who has an avocado tree so you can get free avocados like I used to, but then I moved, so now I don't have free avocados anymore, and it makes me very sad. Moving on to superfood number 5. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that one of the biggest takeaways I want you to get from my channel is that health should be your priority, and the healthier you are, the easier it is to lose fat, build muscle, achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So focusing on health first will make reaching your goals so much easier. And that's why I recommend that if you're not healthy, you should focus on getting healthy before you try to change your aesthetic. And that is why I've included superfood number 5 on this list: fermented foods. This includes foods like my favorite, kombucha, yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, anything fermented.
Obviously, because it's fermented foods.
The process of fermenting foods creates healthy probiotic bacteria, which can improve the health of your gut. And having a healthy gut can reduce inflammation, and if your body is chronically inflamed, your body's main focus is going to be reducing inflammation rather than helping you lose weight, build muscle, etc. Having a healthy gut can also strengthen your immune system. If you are constantly getting sick, obviously it's going to be really hard to achieve any sort of aesthetic goals. It can also improve your energy. The more energy you have, the more calories you're going to just expend throughout the day naturally. You're also going to be able to smash your workouts a lot harder, make a lot more progress in the gym. So overall, having a healthy gut to have more energy is really useful. And there are so many more ways in which improving the health of your gut will improve your overall health, how you physically feel, and thus how easy it is to achieve your aesthetic goals. So including fermented foods in your diet is one great way to work on the health of your gut. Also, just eating generally a healthy diet is probably the best thing you can do, but if you're already doing that, adding some fermented foods can definitely kick it up a notch. And then more research is definitely needed in this area, but there are some studies to indicate that certain strains of healthy bacteria actually make weight loss easier and specifically target the belly fat, but not enough to draw any definitive conclusions, so hopefully in the next few years we'll see some more cool research on this. So in short, the Marissa approved list of superfoods for weight loss include cruciferous and leafy vegetables, meat, eggs, avocado, and fermented foods. If there are any other foods that you love to include into your diet, if you are trying to be in a calorie deficit, please leave them down in the comments below. We can help each other out. In the meantime, don't forget to check out my merch if you are interested. Also linked down below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up because it really does support me and my channel, and I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, your neighbors. If you want to see more videos from me about fat loss and making fat loss easier, I will link a few over here. And if you want to see future videos from me, hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a new video, and I will see you very soon. Bye!